Chebra Masinja Namaji, you and Person, you want to push it, you can't overshadow the Damage, the Jose, Yamuku, you tell Lama the Bena, Latin and Sambra show, Saint John Bay Chini. Oh, yeah. So now we are going through the teaching of 7 points of mind training, Mahayana mind training. By Geshe Kadamba Geshe Chekawa. So to listen and to teach this Mahayana teaching, we have to have the right motivation so that our effort will go into the right direction. So therefore, we have to generate our motivation as usual, and our motivation should be influenced by the altruistic mind of enlightenment, the Buddhi mind. So even if we don't have the real Buddhi mind at the moment, many of us, we don't have the real Buddhi mind at the moment. But this time, at this moment, we have to generate, at least artificially, thinking about the Buddhi mind. So we wish to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings, and in order to be enlightened, fully enlightened, we need to know about Mahayana Buddhism. For that reason, I'm going to listen to this teaching. So that kind of motivation we should generate. And then we have discussed about the little bit about the 7 points of mind training, Mahayana mind training. So the first point was learn the preliminaries, right? Learn the preliminaries. So the preliminaries, including the practice of Lamrim, we have to be familiar with at least we have to be familiar with those points that are mentioned in Lamrim, such as how to rely upon a guru, and the precious human being, and impermanence, and then also we have to we got to know about the rebirth, and we must have a faith in rebirth system. So otherwise we cannot go further in the practice, So then renunciation and taking refuge in 3 jewels, and then samatha and vipassana. And so after that we have to, now the second point is instructions for training in the 2 bodhisattvas. The second point is out of 7 points. The second point, second point. So maybe I better first. I thought I better count them for your information. The second point is instructions for training in the 2 bodhisattvas, 2 bodhi minds. Third is convert adversities in the path of enlightenment. The convert any unfavorable conditions, adversities in the path of enlightenment. And then fourth is implement mind training in this life or in daily life. Implementing the mind training in daily life, And in daily life and in this life, the whole life, what we should do, or how to implement the training for our whole life. That is the fourth point. The fifth point is it says the measure of mind training. The measure of mind training. That means how you measure that whether your mind is trained. How do you measure whether your mind is trained or not? How do you know what is the definition of trained mind? So that is the fifth point, the measure of mind training. The sixth point is commitments of mind training. So if you are if you are training your mind according to this mind training, so what kind of commitments that you have to keep so that you can enhance your training, right? That is the sixth point. The seventh point is advice for mind training. So there is some advice that you should follow throughout your life. So I don't remember the exact numbers. Maybe there are about 16 commitments, about 25 advices at the end. So anyway, that we will go through anyway, right? So now we are at the instructions for training in the two bodhicittas. We were in that point, we were in that point. Instructions for training of the two bodhicittas. So the two bodhicittas, maybe I didn't count them. So two bodhicittas are the ultimate bodhicitta and the conventional bodhicitta. So normally whenever we talk about the bodhi mind, bodhicitta, that is altruistic mind, that is we are talking about conventional bodhicitta. And when we talk about the ultimate bodhicitta, that is the mind realizing the emptiness. The mind realizing the emptiness. Mind realizing the emptiness which is influenced by conventional bodhi mind. Because just the realization of emptiness is not a practice of Mahayana tradition. It is a common practice. Realization of emptiness is a common practice between Mahayana and Theravada, because there are arahats in Theravada tradition, in Hinayana tradition. So arahats, without realizing emptiness, you cannot become an arahat. You cannot become an arahat. So you have to realize emptiness. So realizing emptiness itself is not the ultimate bodhi mind. The ultimate bodhi mind is realizing emptiness, which is realization of emptiness which is influenced by conventional bodhicitta. So there are two bodhi. So we have to train in both bodhicitta. So we have already discussed a little bit about the ultimate bodhicitta. We had discussed about emptiness, and I don't think we need more discussions, because we already discussed some during the Heart Sutra teaching. And we didn't get time to discuss afterwards, question answer, we couldn't do it because there was no time. So if today we have time, we can do it at the end. So let's see about the timing, because we don't have that much time. So and then after that we were talking about the conventional bodhicitta. So how to train our mind towards towards conventional bodhicitta. So for that there are two kinds of instructions. So the one instruction is the 6 causes and 1 result. That 6 causes is the causes for Bodhi mind, and the result, the Bodhi mind itself is the result. Okay, so 6 causes and 1 result. And the other one is through exchanging self and others, one and others, through exchanging self and others, and through that practice, then we generate Bodhi mind. That is the instructions given by Shantideva. So it is, if you want to know about that in great detail, the Shantideva's book, The Way of Bodhisattva, something like that, So that book is in great detail. So 10 chapters are there. So you should read that book, and maybe it wouldn't be enough merely reading that book. You might need to get some explanations by qualified teachers, so that your understanding can be deeper and perfect. Otherwise, we can make mistakes in our understanding, and that may lead to wrong way, So, so anyway, 6 causes. About 6 causes, as a base, we need the equanimity. So we need a neutral kind of feeling. So that we discussed the last time. We discussed about how to do the practice of equanimity, right? So if you are practicing Bodhi mind in this way, then if you are serious, then you have to make sessions. You have to like you are doing a retreat. So you do a retreat and make sessions, and then each session you practice that. So one course, actually it may take months and years, but if you're taking a retreat of 3 months or whatever, so you can divide the timing and days, 3 days you spend, or 1 week you spend on meditating on equanimity, and then you go further and further, week by week or day by day, whatever is convenient to you. So you sit down in the meditation posture, and so if we discuss about the postures and so forth, then I don't think there's time. So we may not need that. And then if your mind is not calm, then you must count breathing. Breathe in and out through your nose. Unless like me, your nose are blocked, then of course you have to breathe through your mouth. If your nose are not blocked, then you must breathe through your nose. Mouth should be closed, and the my mouth should be closed, but the lips, just keep it normal. Don't press, and then it creates kind of stress. You don't have to press your lips strongly. Just leave it normal, and then breathe in and out. So you can count 1, 2. Just breathing. Just count, concentrating on breathing in and out. So you don't even think how you are breathing, or it is really going through your nose, or no. You shouldn't think anything else. Just count. Just count. So 7 times, and it's still your mind is not come, then 14 times, still you need, then you can count 21 times, that is 3 sets of 7 times, you know. So you can do that, not more than 21. And then you calm down. Then you think about this enemy and friend, your close friends or relative or whatever, and then a neutral person. So you do this practice as we discussed last time, right? And then now the first course is what do you call it? Recognizing all sentient beings, your mother. So that is the first course. So that is we have to try to think about that. Try to recognize all sentient beings as your mother. But when you are training, as we did in the equanimity time, first you bring one person in front of you. Now there is not much difference because you are already trained, right? So you can bring enemy, you don't have angry feeling. You bring your friends also, you don't have that much attachment because you are already trained. And the neutral one is also the same, you know. So you bring one person. Then think he or she could have been your mother, because the logic behind this is that we have, according to Buddhist philosophy, we have taken births and from the beginningless time. That means there is no beginning. When we came into exist, there is no beginning. Buddha didn't see the beginning. So it is beginless. So if Buddha doesn't see, it means it doesn't exist. So there is no beginning. So it is beginless. So beginless time means it's countless time. We have taken rebirth and rebirth countless time. So each time you take rebirth, you may not need mother, but so many times you need mother. So this life's mother cannot be your mother all the time. So you need a mother. Some other beings they have been your mother. That is for sure. So therefore, the person that you are visualizing in front of you, he or she also have been your mother. So when he was your mother, then he surely had been very kind to you. So how your mother? So normally some mothers, there must be exceptions, but normally mothers are very kind to their children, even more kind than the father or other relatives, you know. So that is nature of mother. So that is no, I'm mixing. First, he or she should have been your mother. That's true, right? And then you aid another person. Look at he or she, and then you should think this person also should have been my mother sometime. And that is also not one time or 2 times. Many times he or she should have been your mother for many times in the past. Then you add another person, and you keep on adding, and then you can think about your neighbors. All the neighbors you might they have been your mother, and then you expand that. Then you think the country like Singapore. So all the people in Singapore, they have been your mother. They have been your mother, for sure. You must be convinced about that. For that you should reason, you know. So I have taken rebirth countless time, and many times. So there are, how to take birth? There are four kinds of births, you know, actually. So the birth taken through womb, mother's womb. For that you need mother. So some are taken birth by moisture and the warm moisture climate. Like many insects, they just come out of moisture, so they don't need mother. Many insects they need mother, but many insects they don't need mother. So there is another. And then what do you call that? Egg, born out of egg. So that maybe you don't need womb, you know. And then what? Then miraculous birth, medical birth. So that is birth like a heaven. You take birth in heaven. So you just come out of flower or something like Guru Rinpoche, or when you take rebirth in Pure Land like Sukhavati, you don't need a mother. You take birth, and also in the hell also you don't need a mother. You just take birth. You take birth in that realm. But many births they need animal realms, human realms, and the human realms is not limited to this world. You know, the human realm is huge. As when we were offering mandala, so there we were talking about the four continents. So four continents. So four continents, they're all human beings. We don't see, of course, but they are in this galaxy or other galaxy, or no, the sky is the limit, so we don't know. So the human realm is also, it's not limited to this human, this world. So many human beings, you know. So they take rebirth. We also take rebirth in different. We would have taken. We must have taken rebirth in all those different human realm. So we need. So all these we need mother. So so we think that this man, that man, and this all the people in this country, and then all the people in this world, and then it goes further, like all the beings in these 6 realms. So you have to train in that way. So that is recognizing all sentient beings, your mother. All sentient beings, your mother. So you just train in that way. Think. Surely he or she should have been my mother, right? So when you see anybody in the street, if you have a feeling simultaneously that this guy also should have been my mother, or this boy or girl should have been my mother, simultaneously you get that kind of feeling. So that means you have realized, you have got the training, you have done the training, you have realized. So that is the first cause. Okay, so now we must go, and then we must remembering the kindness of your mother. That is the second cause. So, yes, they have been your mother, you are convinced. Now, each time when they were your mother, they have been so kind to you. There have been no doubt about that. And how kind they might have been to you. that kindness you should try to remember. So, like the mothers, they kept you in their womb for 9 months, and at that time, how they took care of themselves for the baby, so they are very careful about their diet. They are very careful about their behavior and all those kind of things. So, and then when you were born, if mother's kindness is not there, then it is not possible you to survive. Almost, some exceptionals are always there, but on most of us, if your mother would have abandoned you totally, then you would have died within hours. So she very carefully took the baby in her hand, and then feeding with her milk, and then she always think about your health, and then she always think about your health, and she gives the best thing what she can give to you. I mean, mothers can be rich, mothers can be poor, but she will do the best for you, whatever she can. So that kind of kindness. So, and then when you grow up, still mother is very kind. Mother is taking care of. Still you're taking care of your health and taking care of your schooling and taking care of your expenses, and so always worrying about their children. That is nature of mother. So the mothers normally they are very kind to you. So we must remember all the kindness that our mothers have done to us. So in that way you think about the kindness of mother, and then all sentient beings when they were your mother, they have all of them have been very kind to you. So that is remembering the kindness, remembering the kindness. So after that, then you should develop the feeling that repaying the kindness. Now you repay the kindness. So the mother sentient beings, they have been very kind to me all the time. So now it's my turn. I must also do something for them. So I must repay their kindness. So that is repaying the kindness of the mothers. So recognizing all sentient beings, your mother, remembering the kindness, and then what? Repaying the kindness. And then how to repay the kindness? And then you think the mothers, what they're doing, what they're feeling, what they have, where they are. So you look at the mothers, and when you look at the mothers, all the mothers sentient beings are in this samsara. So they are suffering. So we haven't talked about the sufferings of samsara, but many of you might already know about the sufferings of samsara. So they are suffering. They are suffering. The sentient beings in the hell, they are suffering. Sentient beings in the hungry ghost realm, they are suffering. Sentient beings in the animal realm, they are suffering. Sentient beings in human realm, they are suffering. And sentient beings in heaven realm, they are suffering, right? So you think, then you generate the compassion. So, what is the definition of compassion? The definition of compassion is that you wish for example, you wish a person who is suffering, you wish that person may be separated from that suffering. That is normal compassion. If someone is suffering, then, oh, he is suffering, he or she is suffering. So, it would be good if he can be separated from the suffering, from that suffering, pain, whatever, difficult condition, pain, sick, whatever. So you wish them be separated from that suffering. That is compassion. So now here we call it great compassion. So the great compassion means that we are taking as an object, that is the compassion, normal compassion and great compassion. The difference is the object in object. So here we take all sentient beings as the object of compassion. So that becomes great. So it's a great compassion. Okay? So that is recognizing all sentient beings' mother, remembering their kindness, repaying their kindness, and the compassion, great compassion. And the fourth is loving kindness, right? So the loving kindness is the fifth one, is like loving kindness. So loving kindness and compassion, they are like we say, you say that two aspects of one coin, two parts of one coin. So it's one coin, but it's slightly different way of wishing. So in loving kindness, what you wish is that all sentient beings who are suffering, they may they enjoy the happiness. Okay. May they enjoy the happiness. That wish, you take all sentient beings as an object of their mind, and then you wish, may they get all the happiness. May they get all the happiness. And that is loving kindness. Okay? And then supreme intention. The supreme intention or special intention. That is the sixth one, That is the sixth one. So now you have been wishing all sentient beings be separated from suffering and get all the happiness. And you have been meditating and training and you have been wishing that. Now, I want to do the job. I must do the job this time. From beginner's time till now, all sentient beings have been very kind to me. They have been helping me. Sometimes you can think that is true. That is true that all sentient beings, they might have helped you. They might have been very helpful. But then also logically you may think that all sentient beings, sometimes they have been very bad, very unkind to us. That is also there. They might have been our enemy. and there might have been that might have been your enemy or whatever, So they have robbed you, they have beaten you, any sorts of things. So sometimes you think, oh, they have been in that way too. So it's equal, you can make it equal. You try to find an excuse. So you shouldn't think in that way. And also at that time, there's one training that is called special remembering of the kindness. So special remembering of kindness, that practice should be done, So at that time, this time, so special remembering the kindness of all sentient beings, the special kindness of all sentient beings. So that is not only when they were your mothers, but whether they were mother or not, whether they were neutral people or whether they were your enemy, they have always been kind to you, because what you get, the human form. For example, at this time, the human form, and your education, and your food, and your clothes, and your house, and your car, and your bank balance, everything what you have is due to all sentient beings. If the sentient beings are not there, you're not going to get anything. Any of them, you're not going to get any of them. How? You must think. How? For example, clothes. You take the clothes. I buy. I went to the shopping mall and I buy and I give my money. That's true. But then there are two ways of thinking, Money also, how money comes to you. You don't print the money. Money comes to you if you are doing business. If you have a restaurant, for example, all the customers. If you have no customers, you have no money. There is no money. So it is. If you have money, you must be thankful to your customers. You are serving, but it's still, and there are other people serving also. So the customers are very kind to you. They come to your restaurant, and then you make money. And not only that, when the pepper money, for example, when the pepper money, so the pepper is produced. Pepper doesn't come from the sky. Pepper doesn't come from the earth. Pepper is made by many efforts of many people. So anyway, we don't need to go through very detail, right? So pepper, and then the printing, the machines are there, but the people's effort is still there, And then physical effort, mental effort, there are so many, So all these people, because of them, you get that money. And then similarly, the clothes that you bought from the market, so that has the cause of the clothes. Like for example, if you take like a woolen cloth, we say normally, woolen cloth, it's a sheep wool. So sheep, if there's no sheep, then there's no wool. There's no wool, then you have no woolen cloth. So the sheep is very kind, because the wool is their cloth, and then we take off their cloth, and then we make different cloths, and then we wear them. So the sheep sacrificed his cloth for us. And then also there are human, So the sheep's sheep's fur doesn't come out automatically, Then you have to take off. The neighbors are there. So without their effort, you cannot. So they are very kind. Directly or indirectly, they have been kind. So similarly, when you eat food, when you eat rice, and each grain of rice is produced by many efforts. By many people in the field, right? And then after that they dry them out, and then they polished or whatever, processed, and then packed in the factory. All the factory laborers, the factory owner, and then it is transported by truck. So the truck driver, all these are involved, even the one grain of rice. So one grain of rice also comes from huge efforts, So all they are involved. So they are directly or indirectly, it is their kindness. And then when you are practicing Dharma, you cannot practice Dharma without sentient beings. So if somebody become Buddha, he became Buddha because of the sentient beings. Sentient beings are not there, you cannot generate great compassion. You cannot generate bodhi mind. You cannot practice patience. If there's somebody who tries to make you angry, then you cannot practice patience, right? If there is somebody who is poorer than you, if there's nobody who is poorer than you, then you cannot practice generosity. You cannot give. And then all the 6 paramitas, six perfections, you cannot practice without sentient beings. So 10 virtuous actions, you cannot accumulate that actions without sentient beings. So if you cannot accumulate merit, then you cannot enjoy happiness. There is no way. So for that, you need to know the causality. So the preliminary practice is not done, then you don't know anything about causality. If you don't have any feeling of causality, if you don't have any feeling and understanding of rebirth, then you cannot practice all these. For that you need the preliminary knowledge, understanding. Preliminary knowledge and understanding. That's why he said first you learn preliminary. So now we presume that you know the preliminary. So the course, what was that? What I was talking, kindness, kindness, the special kindness. But why I talked about the cause and effect, causality. No, anyway, I don't remember now. It might come back later. So in that way, it is the whole. You are totally dependent on all sentient beings. Your happiness and also suffering, they are dependent on all sentient beings. So all happiness that you enjoy, that are due to sentient beings. So they have been very kind all the time, So in that way, you remember their kindness in a special way. Not only they have been kind to you while they were your mother, but also when they were not your mother, they have been kind. They have maybe when they were your enemy, they are very kind. They are also very kind, because since they were your enemy, you might have practiced your patience, So in that way, when they are enemy, they are also kind. We actually, if you see an enemy, then maybe you must thank you. Go to him or her and thank him or her. Thank you very much giving me the opportunity to practice my patience. Thank you. You must prostrate to him. So that is the real mind training. That is the real mind training practice. The super intent, the sixth one is the super intent. That is, now, all sentient beings who have been my mother, who have been very kind to me, who have been all the time very kind to me, now they are suffering. So I want to I want to help them to get rid of their suffering and to get the happiness forever. I would like to do by myself. I want to help them in any possible way. Every possible way, I want to help them. So now, that is how you're going to help them. If you try to give money, if you try to give food, if you try to clothes, you cannot, because you don't have enough also. Even if you have enough to give to all the human beings in this world, that is also not that helpful, because if you give food, maybe you will help them to remove their hunger for 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, like that, So, but afterwards, maybe if you can, even if you can help them for their whole life, after that life, then you cannot help them. So how to help them in a more effective way? So more effective way is that I must help them to be liberated from samsara. And that would be the right help and most effective help for sentient beings. So I would like to help them to get out of the ocean of suffering, that is samsara. And in order to do that, at the moment, I myself ignorant and know nothing, no power, how I can help them? So, if I attain Buddhahood, then Buddhas, they have the power, to help, all sentient beings. You cannot count Buddha's activities, So Buddhas, their actions are simultaneous. When there are somebody in need, the Buddha's help goes to them simultaneously. Buddhas, they don't need any intention. Buddhas, they don't need any effort, because it is simultaneous. And Buddhas, they liberate sentient beings, maybe millions of sentient beings in a minute, in a second. They help them. But sentient beings are limitless. So there are still sentient beings. You might have heard about the Avalokiteshvara. Why? In Chinese also you have this Avalokiteshvara with many arms, and we have Avalokiteshvara with 11 headed. So how this form came into exist? How this 11 headed form of Avalokiteshvara? You know that? You know that? If you know that, I don't want to repeat, that's why I'm asking. Okay, yeah. So anyway, just a short story, I'll make it shorter, and I'm always, in story, I'm always short, I don't know much story. As I told you, I don't like to read history. So Avalokiteshvara means, this Chandresi. So his eyes, Chandresi means, Chan means eye, Sik means looking. So he never blink. He looks at the sentient beings all the time, 24 hours, 60 minutes, 60 minutes in an hour, and 60 seconds in a minute. He just looking how to help sentient beings. He was not a Buddha then. He was a Bodhisattva, but he was helping people, helping sentient beings. And then he has reached some bhumi, ground level, maybe some high level, I don't remember, first level, second level, whatever. So he was helping hundreds of thousands of millions of sentient beings are being liberated by his help. And then after many eons, he has been doing this job for many eons. And then he looked at the samsara, and now I have liberated so many, countless sentient beings. And he was looking at the samsara. It might have reduced. The number of sentient beings might have reduced tremendously. He thought. And look at the samsara, and he saw as the same, so many sentient beings. He saw so many. It's the same. And then he got discouraged. And then he thought, I have been doing this for the last so many years, and I have helped them to get liberated. I have helped them to attain Buddhahood. Countless sentient beings. Still, now I cannot carry on. So he was discouraged. So at that moment, what happened is his bodhi mind was diminished. So he when he first time generated bodhi mind, he made a commitment that I will never ever give up my bodhi mind, no matter what happens to me. If I give up my bodhi mind, at that moment my head should be cracked in 1,000 pieces. So that was his commitment. So his head was cracked and in 1,000 pieces. And then his guru, Amitabha, appeared to him and asked, what happened? And then he told the story. And then Amitabha blessed his head. And then now I'm confused, this was 1,000 or 10,000, I don't remember. Anyway, he put it, if it is 1,000 cracks, then 100 cracks put together one head. 100 together one head, it becomes 10 heads, And then on top, Amitabha himself. His face is there. His face is there, right? His head is there, right? So it became 11-headed. So he blessed Avalokiteshvara, and he again his Bodhi mind was restored, and of course carry on helping all sentient beings, and finally it became, of course,